Welcome back, everybody, to the Hungry Thoughts podcast with Nick Barahona, your number one podcast for all things food and where our appetite has no limits at all. Episode 4, guys, I can't believe it, of a 10-episode series. This is ridiculous. Already on episode 4. We got a great set of guests for you today. Before I introduce them, just want to shout out the Patreon down below. That'll be in the link. If you want to support me in any way, I always appreciate that. I love you guys, all the supporters, everybody who even watches these. Thank you so much. But yeah, let's get into it. I'm very excited for who we have today. This is going to be a fun episode. We're going to have a great time. Boys, thank you for coming on today. Wow. Please introduce yourselves and then we'll just get right into it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming in.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us. My name's Laith. Nice to meet you guys. I'm 23 at this point in time.
Yeah.
Work as a medical assistant and do like music production stuff in my free time.
Awesome.
And my name's Jared. I work as a server at Bear Wrench Tavern in Vienna. And then I also work for Attain ABA as a behavioral tech. And I grew up in Northern Virginia. Played soccer growing up with Nick, and so I've known him for too long at this point. But it's wonderful, and I'm really happy to be here. So thanks for having us.
Yeah, no, thank you guys so much. Really excited for this episode. These guys are some of my best buds here. We went to VCU together. We went to college together, and so I'm hoping out of this episode, we can have a good time. Maybe showcase a little bit about who I am more as a person, so people can get a little further understanding of my personal life. Maybe like even outside of food and just as a person, and then on you guys too. But let's just have a great time. So let's kind of talk about how we even met.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think so. I knew Nick before. He didn't remember me, but it's all good.
That's true.
We played at the same club growing up in Northern Virginia playing soccer.
Very true.
We both switched around different clubs, but we ended up at Braddock Road. Played there on different teams, but with each other for a long time. Came to VCU. And then roomed together freshman year and then sophomore year.
Yeah, so like you said, we played on like the same travel team together. And for those of you who don't know, it's kind of like the competitive league that you can play that's not like academy based for soccer, like in high school and even in middle school, going all the way down to elementary school. So yeah, we played on Braddock Road together, and you were a year up. You were on 99s, I was on 2000s. But we played with each other, but we never really like close at all. Like we didn't really talk. And it was so interesting going to the same school and, being recruited at VCU and then being in the same dorm, like getting put together in the same dorm because, we didn't, like we knew each other, but we weren't close at all. So we still like had that it was really fresh and new, and I still didn't really know who you were.
The first 2 weeks was wonderful because we were going to bed at 8:30 every night because we had nothing to talk about after practice.
Yeah.
And then, after 2 weeks, kind of broke that barrier. I think we started cooking together or watching shows.
Exactly. It was actually beautiful. And the thing that was different too, I feel like for other people's experiences is that other people in different colleges might have just like one roommate, when they first go like freshman year, sophomore year. For us, it was you, me, and then 2 other guys, Roy and Thomas, who were also on the team at that time. And so it was just a cool experience. And, I'm happy to have that.
And
Obviously you're here now. So
awesome. And somehow we're here and you're doing this. And it's so exciting.
But yeah, Laith, I think if I remember correctly, we met obviously through Jared, but we did have a class together at VCU junior year.
Sophomore year?
Right
before
I think it was sophomore year. Okay. Yeah. We had, what was that class? Philosophy, like moral philosophy or something. And that was like a 2.5 hour class. And at first I was like, I'm not going to like this class. This is going to be hell. I'm not going to want to do this. Actually ended up being a very interesting class. That was probably my favorite class.
Yeah.
Our teacher was great. I think the things that we dove into just about like moral ethics and all what I liked about that class is that we were able to like all give our input on things, and he like invited like a conversation, and like if someone felt a certain way, then we would talk about it, and then obviously he would give his input and teach us. But that was a great class. And I just remember you speaking a lot and,
Shut up.
always having what it seems like the right answers. And I was like, wow, this guy is smart and talks a lot. But I liked it though. I loved it. And then I knew I was talking to Jared about this guy Laith is in my class. And then we started like playing spikeball together, and then we kind of just like grew the relationship from there.
Because Jared and I weren't even really close until we got to college either. We both grew up in Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
We met each other in high school.
Yeah.
But we similar friends, but just never crossed paths. And then we had chemistry together.
We did cross paths in high school, but he similar to Nick. They don't quite remember me as much, but
I think that says more about you.
That's so interesting. So it's the same thing for you. So like you knew Jared, but it wasn't like you guys weren't tight. Like
something
we weren't tight, but like
you just like were.
we love each other. You know?
So after we got closer over time, you know, Jared is obviously on the soccer team with you guys, and over time we hung out more. Over COVID, I RA'd in the same dorm as you guys, so we had to spend a lot of time together because we weren't allowed to like have anybody inside. Remember that? No guests or anything.
No, I don't remember that.
During COVID,
oh yes, you're right.
Yeah, so we had to all just stay there inside. So I got to spend a lot more time with you guys, get to know you, and then we started. Once things started to open up more, we started playing spikeball together.
Yeah,
we started to come out, and we all hung out. You came to my birthday party.
Yeah, I remember.
I've known you for like 2 weeks.
I know. Thank you for inviting me to that.
Yeah, of course.
That was
because other people dropped out, but.
I remember that time though. It was such a interesting and weird time. Like if you really think about it, COVID. Like, what was that? Like we got sent home and we were on lockdown, and then even when we came back, it was still just different, and it took a long time. And you look at that. I remember personally for me, COVID happened when I was like 19. I remember going to Miami to meet a friend who went to the University of Miami, and then I came back, and that's when everything started closing down. Literally like a day after, like I wouldn't have been able to come back. And then I remember I was like 19, and then before I knew it, when things started getting back to normal, I was like already 21 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. But yeah, so we were playing spikeball during that time. Oh, and what I want to get to is RA. What is that exactly for people who don't know?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's like a resident assistant. So like I get paid to snitch on everybody. You go around.
You're one of the ops. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of the ops. You basically have to go around, make sure everybody's having a good time. You're a resource for everybody in the housing, you know. And over COVID, it was especially hard because we weren't allowed to have guests in our places, so we had to like kind of enforce that. People weren't able to like have as many people in the room. They were super strict about it because they didn't want to like shut down. So it was pretty intense. But because you guys lived in there, I was able to just like text you guys directly if you were about to get in trouble.
It was nice. It was like having a guy in the inside, which is really cool. And I appreciate you for that.
Loud, like.
No, we were soccer athletes.
Late. I'm like, all right, Nat, we can be a little quiet.
I just don't want to do the paperwork.
Actually.
So that was very nice, and I appreciate that. And yeah, so going but really quickly, and then we don't have to talk about COVID anymore, just because forget that time. Just
start crying.
For soccer, we were the only. It was like us in basketball maybe that still like continued to play during that time. Yeah. So after lockdown, we came back and everything else was like closed and shut, but we were still practicing every day. And I remember women's team was practicing too, but they had to wear masks while practicing.
Yeah. Well,
thankfully, we didn't have to do that.
Different rules.
Yeah.
Different universities is everything.
Looking back though, we had some scares, but like it was never bad. Like nothing spread really bad. So that's really impressive, I think. But we did do a lot to prevent that. But yeah, moving forward, boys, it's October. Really quickly, I'm just going to reminisce real quick.
Go for it.
So I had mentioned this in the first episode of my podcast. I threw an event that was probably like a year. It was a year this past weekend. So a couple of days back, it's been a year since I hosted Spook RVA, which essentially was a like vintage thrift pop-up that also had like local vendors. And I sort of did a little like NFT project with that as well. Had over like 300 people that came out and supported me. It was a great time. You guys supported me. Lath, were you there?
Like I supported you for sure. I don't know, not with my presence, but like I was like
you were busy.
I was liking the Instagram page.
Yeah. You were liking the stories and like you were commenting like,
amazing.
I'll be there in a sec, and then never show up.
Not the most time.
No, I'm just joking. No, no, I got a lot of love from that. But no, yeah. So that was a great time. It was also around Halloween, just like now. Halloween's about a couple of days away, and as you guys can see, you guys have pictures right there that you put up behind you guys that was from a Halloween party that we had last year. But I'm curious to know what you guys are going to be for Halloween this year with it being so close. I'm sure you guys already have your costumes and everything. So if you want to tell us, Jared, what you're going to be this Halloween season.
And first I wanted to say about your Spook RVA. You didn't even notice, but I'm actually wearing one of the shirts I thrifted.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah,
absolutely.
Of course I noticed.
Definitely one of my favorite.
Of course I noticed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Remember last time we were like getting change at your place, and then like you were like, "This is the shirt that I got," and this is the shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, bro, Halloween. No, Roy, one of our old roommates, thrifted another shirt, and it's got like little dogs and like a car.
Yeah.
And, like it's just really bright. And so I was like, you know what? I'll go for the Traveler. So I got that button down. It's really festive.
Yeah.
I got a bathing suit that has some bright parrots on it. I'm gonna wear. I got some socks in Punta. No, it wasn't Punta Cana. It was in Costa Rica.
Costa Rica, yeah.
And with Pura Vida on it. And so I'm gonna wear that with sandals.
So you're gonna be a traveler.
Traveler.
Like a tourist?
Tourist,
yeah.
Gotcha.
We went to Costa Rica as a soccer team, a VCU men's soccer team, our last year there, and that was really cool. We were there for like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Played against a bunch of pro teams. That was really fun. The food was great.
Oh my
We
gosh.
stayed at like an all-inclusive resort.
It was amazing.
That was insane. All-inclusive resort. Woo. Lath, what are you gonna be?
So, I feel like we don't get to express ourselves as much now that we're adults. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I feel like the
sure.
spectrum of acceptable costumes just like get to narrower and narrower every year.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to, like, when I was younger, I could be a Ninja Turtle, Power Ranger. Nobody bats
Yeah.
an eye. I do that now.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
but. So I just want something a little bit more traditional, a little bit
Traditional.
more horror. We're going for like a Freddy Krueger kind of vibe because we're only here for the day.
Okay.
So like I'm trying to, I
okay.
can wear these pants. I just got to change my shirt.
Oh, so you're wearing
I
the
got
costume
glove.
right now?
Basically, I just have a sweater. I'm gonna put on this. But like, and then I got the glove and the hat. It's like it works.
Okay. I
don't-
like it.
I would like to be more into it.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, maybe it's self-conscious. Next year, I'll go a little bit more hardcore.
Okay.
What about you?
So I'm going to be, for this Halloween, a disco dancer. I have like a nice, I should have brought that, but I have like a disco shirt that's like all fluorescent and colorful that I'm going to have obviously opened up like to like the bottom of my stomach. And then I have like some fun black pants. I didn't get any shoes, but I have some like disco sunglasses, and I also have a wig that I'll be wearing too. And I have some like disco earrings too that'll be,
Okay.
so that'll be fun. But yeah, Halloween, you guys liked it growing up? You guys like horror movies? You guys like go trick-or-treating? Was that something you guys did?
Absolutely. So I love horror movies, but I can't actually really watch them. So I got to watch like through my hand because I always get way too scared.
Okay.
So I always want to see them, but the jump scares.
It's like they're just too scary for you.
They're always too scary for me.
What about you?
I would say I like horror movies, but not the like jump scare kind, because I feel like you can see, especially when you're older,
So
you kind of like
anxious.
see it coming. I like the like psychological horror stuff, or like very
Like the thriller ones.
Yeah.
Growing up for me, I remember specifically, being scared like any other 12 to like 15-year-old, 10 to 15-year-old. But Paranormal Activity, when those movies were coming out, those were like when I was like in middle school. Like those were the movies that like me and my friends like would go see at the movie theaters. And it was like obviously fun, like being with your best buds. But that was like the horror movies for me. Like I didn't watch like The Exorcist or like Halloween, Friday the 13th or any of those things. But that was like the scary movies, and like that was enough for me. And that was like scary. I don't know if you guys ever seen like Paranormal Activities. They came out with like
I
three in like 3 years. You haven't?
I somehow haven't, but
Bro.
that's what I'm talking about. That kind of horror.
The last like 10 minutes or the last like 5 minutes of each movie would just be like horror. Like the person would be like running because like they just like saw someone die, and they would look outside. It'd be like devil worshippers just like outside their house, and they look back and like last thing they see is just like someone running at them. Scary. But I am a big horror movie person.
My Halloween movies were more like when I was younger, more the Disney like
Halloween Town.
Halloween
That was mine too.
Yeah.
That was mine too. I would say like it's hard, I feel like, to come by a good like horror movie these days. I feel like I remember like The Conjuring and like Insidious.
Yeah.
Those are, I think, like quality horror movies in my opinion. But
I like the A24 stuff. Like
Yeah,
Midsummer, Hereditary.
I can see that for you.
It's scary. It's like conceptually like.
Yeah, no, it is like the psychological thriller and everything that you're talking
Cry
about.
a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, you can't cry. Sorry.
All right, yeah, but going back.
On the next podcast.
Yeah, we'll save that for the next one. Off the camera. Back to VCU though, guys. Obviously, we talked about how we met all at VCU. Who would have thought we'd be here today? But how was it? I kind of want to just dive into how was it like leaving home for the first time, being to VCU, and also like a school that's like a city school too. You have other schools like maybe like JMU and like Virginia Tech that I wouldn't say like are in the middle of nowhere, but are sort of. But they don't have like that same vibe, and they're not attached to like a city like VCU. So I just wanted to know what it was like being in VCU, and also just like what it was like being in college for the first time away from your family, or away from your mom or dad's or anybody that you can't rely on like a home cooked meal. You can't you're not living with anyone else. It's just you. You're being independent. So how was that?
No, absolutely. I think coming into the team was super beneficial because like just playing soccer and then you have 30 guys instantly that have gone through the experience before you, and then you're also going through the experience with 10 other freshmen or 9, whoever came in with us. And you just kind of work into it. We come to school early, about 30 days, and then we have advisors. We have like everything really was set up for us to be super successful as athletes. I think the hardest part for me was adjusting to the new food schedule, and then like I could not cook, man. And you remember this? I remember.
You still can't cook.
That.
No, let's be honest.
Salt and pepper's enough on chicken, okay? But no, I remember I made like a fried egg for like the Nick this morning.
God.
Oh my gosh, it was
me and Roy or like Thomas.
I think they threw it out, and I just felt.
We looked at it, and it was like an uncooked, over easy egg or something. Like, what did you try doing with it?
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
It was like on a McMuffin, and like he tried doing like something nice for us.
Okay.
And I was like, "What is this, Jared?" And me and Roy looked at it.
Like
It killed me. I know it made me sick. Like in all honesty, like it's not a joke. It did make me and Roy sick.
And then, someone.
I think Roy threw it out. Me and Thomas ate it because we were hungry, as like soccer players, and it made me sick. But no, you have improved.
Yeah.
No, for sure. For you, like from my perspective, coming in not knowing anything in the like cooking in the kitchen till like our last year. No, for 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And it got to the point that I cook 3 or 4 times a day.
Yeah.
My senior year, every
that's very
meal
true.
was being cooked. Maybe if we had to rush, we'd grab something. But like for the most part, it's like rice cooker. Very simple to do a lot of stuff with that.
You make a good point though, and then I want to tag you in, Lath, but like being a part of like the men's soccer team or just being like an athletic like D1 or whatever team that you're on, the college you go to, it's interesting because like you're totally right. Like we had like breakfast and like we would come in 2 weeks before anyone else would come in.
We're getting snacks every day.
We have snacks, we have breakfast, we have lunch and dinner for preseason. And when like game time comes around, they feed us meals and everything. So there was still like structure for us in that sense, And so I'm curious how it was for you, Lath, not having that particularly, and how you dealt with that and how you found it.
I was enabled a lot because freshman year, everybody has swipes or whatever, so you don't really cook for yourself.
Swipes, yes.
For us, like, normally they have on-campus food or whatever. And then after that, I started RAing, and thankfully, they took care of us.
Nice.
Like that. So I really just, like, ate out pretty frequently. I cooked my breakfast and everything like that. I was pretty religious about that. But my dinners and stuff, I'd always just, like, get kava, like, every other day, which is pretty not the best for my wallet. But
I think swipes, though, is a good, like... We use our swipes. I remember freshman year, we came in and I got a good amount of swipes.
We all had like 150 or something.
Yeah. And like the seniors would just like always be like, let's go eat, man. Pretend they were friends. Or junior. No, even the sophomores, the ones above.
Pretend we were asleep. So when they came knocking on the door, like no one would answer. And they'd
sometimes they would just open the door. So that's why you have to lock your door. They would just walk in like, yo, Nick.
Can I get a swipe?
Let's go eat. Are you hungry? I get it though. I get it. We did the same thing, yeah.
When I was older, then I did the same thing.
But what do you guys think about like the school food, like the cafeteria food? Like the cafeteria here at VCU, the main one is Schaefer. That's what it's called. What do you guys think about it? For me, it was always hit or miss. Breakfast was always always great though. What do you guys think?
I think it depends on the school. I went to Tech and JMU. They are in the middle of nowhere, but their food pretty up there.
The cafeteria food?
Kind of old, yeah.
Okay.
It's ranked like both of them. I think are ranked in the top 10.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we're lacking in that department. But Richmond, like you were saying about being in a city school, like the benefit of that is you have so many like mom and pop shops nearby.
Yes.
So much like small. Like just because we're in a city, we have so many different cultures of food around here.
And I think that's why I love Richmond so much, and that's the beauty of Richmond is that I know maybe until COVID, you could make an argument where like we weren't really introduced or started like traveling around more or like walking more, exploring Richmond more as a city until like maybe COVID happened where we had like a little more free time on our hands or like things just changed. Because I know for me, that's one of the reasons why I love Richmond so much and I fell in love with it was like not only like the food, but like the people in the community and being like a city school and being able to go to like the main like diner here at VCU is like the Village Cafe.
Yeah.
Your family comes down or whatever, you go eat there, or you have like Bodilla's that's open to like 3 a.m. That's like on Broad Street.
Essential.
quesadillas, man. Like you can get wings there too. They used to have what's that place called that they have in UVA? You used to get like the wings and tacos, asados on the corner, rip asados, man. They would have like a Wednesday night thing. You could like for $10 you get like 6 wings and like 2 tacos or something.
We would go like weekly.
Every week
COVID.
after class.
It was the move for sure.
It was amazing.
And then like for me, like being involved with all the food stuff, like Richmond's definitely a part of the reason why I'm here today and have like grown my love for it so much, is because I was able to connect with like the community and like these restaurants and really fall in love with that. You know, you have like Nate's Bagels here in Richmond. Shout out Nate's Bagels. You have, before they closed down and changed their name, what was it? Food Dog.
Food Dog, yeah.
Right?
Fat Dragon.
Fat Dragon. That's still here. And you know, just like things like that, like Shindigs, Bovine. Shout out Bovine, my favorite burger spot in the world. Love it there. And I introduced a bunch of people to it, like the men's soccer team, and a lot of you guys liked it. And so that's what, personally for me, I would say COVID sort of, you know, it was an interesting time, and it kind of paused like the soccer aspect for us, because I feel like all we knew was like soccer, or maybe all I knew, maybe you can like share how it was for you, but all I knew was like soccer. And then COVID happened. Okay, wow. Soccer's not here. Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of when I started getting into like all my writing, my Instagram, my like blog posts, like finding a passion really that's always been inside of me, but being able to express it and realize that, you know, there's more than just like soccer in front of me and for the future. And so that was really nice. And then just being at VCU especially just helped out so much.
I feel like it forced a lot of people to explore stuff.
Yeah, everybody.
Inside and outside.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I felt like a lot of athletes especially get tied up. It's like some of the guys coming up through COVID, they hadn't had in-person classes in 2 years that they'd been at VCU. So they had no friends other than the athletes. So it's like at that point you already have best friends. Like they didn't really venture out.
Yeah.
Fortunately for us, we had a freshman year, and so like I got way closer to Lathe and like a bunch of my other people in my major in the sciences. So I could actually, we were going to extra sessions, like group teaching, a bunch of stuff like that. So I immediately was able to venture out through that avenue and just meeting all kinds of different people every day. Like you can meet someone new every day. But I think a lot of athletes, it's so easy to just stay in your bubble because you are spending so much time and you're so tired after that you can just easily stay at home and hang out with the people you already know.
Would you guys say you're happy that you were able to land somewhere at VCU where it was like, you know, like a city school, and you were able to like walk like only like less than a mile to go to like a mom and pop or like a local business?
Oh yeah, I didn't have a car until like last year. So,
exactly, yeah.
Being in a city where it's walkable has been super nice. I think I'd become a different person like if I went anywhere else. I got into this like a summer program where it got me in with a lot of people with similar interests and career goals, and that like gave me my foundation. Similar to you guys with your athletics, like that was my foundation for me coming into college, having friends and everything like that already. Kind of having a family away from home. So yeah, I would definitely wouldn't have got that experience anywhere else. So being able to just pop in, you know, we're from Northern Virginia, you have DC, but it's accessible, but like versus like literally living within Richmond itself, you walk 10 minutes any direction, you can get something completely different.
I agree. Circling back to what you were talking about when we were talking about like cooking and food, Jared, I wanted to just know, you know, being someone who started from really not knowing what to do in a kitchen to cooking, like you said, like 3 times a day, 4 times a day. What's like some of the craziest pairings or combinations of food that you've
I've had some pretty terrible ones.
Because I have some in mind, but
yeah, no, absolutely. They always will give me. They'll always let me know that I made a terrible decision whenever I'm combining.
So what are some?
For me, it's just like it's a fuel a lot of times, and it's just like it's gonna end.
What are the crazy food combos that you've done?
No, it was one morning. It was like 5:45. We got to be at practice like 6. We were at the field at 6:20. There's like the ground is frozen. There's snow on the ground, and I'm like just so tired. I'm like I don't have time for breakfast. I had some leftover rice. I'm sure it was still cold. I know I didn't put it in the
It was cold. It was in the rice cooker still.
And I look in the pantry. There's no breakfast bars. I just ran out. I ate the last one yesterday. There's a jar of Jif peanut butter, and I just get to it. I thought I was like, maybe it'll taste good if I combine it. So
Peanut butter and rice.
and it wasn't even the crunchy. I put creamy peanut butter over rice, and it was cold at like 5:50 a.m. And I ate it, and it got me through practice. But it was one of the
When you were eating it, were you just like, I just need to eat something, or were you like, I know this is wrong? Like, what am I doing right now?
They were watching me, and so I pretended that I really liked it. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I should do this every morning.
Yeah.
And no, it was the texture. Texture was one of the worst experiences I think I've had.
That was
Or like that was one I didn't like. Most of the time I'll be okay with my
because you had you always have like some interesting combos, but I think that one was, especially for you, that was just like rice and peanut butter.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Yeah, no,
that was crazy to experience. But what about you, Laith? Any crazy?
I'm really weird with my food.
Okay,
I'm very like
you're picky.
I've gotten better. When I was younger, I was definitely picky.
Yes,
but I'm very basic and minimalist, simple.
Okay,
I like cucumbers, just a cucumber kind of thing.
Yeah,
I don't eat a lot of like desserts or bad foods, but I'm kind of like a whore for bread, you know. So I like bagels a lot, and I'll try and mix it up for breakfast or lunchtime. Or I'll have like a cinnamon. I treat myself. I get a cinnamon raisin bagel, and I put avocado on it.
Okay.
And
I wouldn't do that.
Do you think that's strange?
I wouldn't do that, but that sounds
like when you toast it, it's
maybe it's my problem that I don't think it's that weird. That sounded normal to me.
You're not making me feel better right now about my,
Isn't that just
about my
avocado
choices.
toast?
This is affirming to me that it's weird. Right now, the fact that you're okay with it. That's what I'm thinking. Like texture-wise, is what it's like.
Yeah.
But it is just a weird, the cinnamon plus the raisin plus the avocado. It's a weird thing.
For me, I would say like the weirdest thing is like I would have like normal food combinations like rice and chicken, but where I would start like going into newer waters is just like the hot sauces. Like I still like have a hot sauce phase now. I love hot sauce. Tabasco is right here, where I would just buy different types of hot sauces and just like see what it was like, maybe even with sauces like barbecue sauce and this hot sauce, this with this, just seeing different flavors. And I thought it was pretty. Some of it hit, some of it didn't. But speaking of, go ahead.
I have another one. You just reminded me. Speaking of hot sauces, so I used to put tapatio on. I used to have canned tuna, and oatmeal together, and I would put tapatio on it. And it was good.
Canned tuna and oatmeal. That's actually you need to be arrested for that.
It was great.
Canned tuna and oatmeal.
It was fantastic.
Did you never put it on top though?
And I wouldn't add anything to my oatmeal. Just
okay. I have to leave. Goodbye.
Yeah, we can wrap it up.
It was plain oatmeal.
I'm not
canned tuna and then just the hot sauce, and got me through my days, man. That hit 3:00 and that was my snack.
I think I do remember something like that. I mean, at this time, it's just like a blur just with everything.
Not surprised anymore.
Speaking of food, because I want to talk really quickly about you being now a server, because I was a server as well at Olive Garden. Shout out Olive Garden. And so kind of share what it's like being a server while I grab something really quickly, because I want to do a quick trivia thing before we wrap up. So what is it like, not being, I think that was like never being in the food industry before. I've been like a host, I've been a food runner, and I was just recently like a server at Olive Garden. But how was it like being introduced to like the food industry, but on the server end? And just like getting used to that training and everything.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I've been around the food industry for a while. I live with a chef. So a lot of my friends were dishwashers or hosts or servers as well. So I always heard crazy stories, and I had so much respect for them already. But now that I'm actually in it, it is it's super difficult. I didn't realize how hard.
What you expected?
You're managing like. You could get a 7 to 10 table section, and then that all fills up, but it's never it's never in order, right? Mm-hmm. Like if it was flowing, it's easy because it's just you get one table, they order whatever, but then they all come in for the lunch rush at the same time. So you're going from no tables whatsoever to I have 10 tables. I have to greet 6 of them. I have to take orders one, and then it's like you forget one thing, and it's like I need to adjust this. Now I need to talk to my manager.
And you have to be on.
And you're focused the whole time. Then you're trying to give them spiels. You're just like, hey, welcome, what's up? And you're trying to make them feel super special because you're working for that tip. Like you really want that tip at the end, but you do make the genuine connections at the end. And I do really enjoy it, getting to meet all these new people.
And you just learn, especially like being a rookie, that like that person who's been there for like a year or 2 or like 3 years or 4 or 5 who just like have it, No, they get absolutely. Like 25 to 30% of tips like all the time, or like of the check. Always.
They're working a different job. It's
there's levels to it for sure.
Levels. They put on so much more of a show.
Yeah.
And their pay is that like you're saying 20 to 30. Like it is 2 jobs. They're getting paid way differently.
It is. It's like 2 different levels. Well, it's so interesting just because when you told me you were becoming a server, I was excited and I was just like, wow, I wonder how that's going to be for him. And I remember going and you serving me and another friend of mine, of ours, Martin. That was cool seeing you in that environment. But man, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Really quickly, before we wrap up, guys, I want to just do a quick trivia. I have 5 questions. I'm going to give you guys both a paper and a pen. And these are going to be questions that we're going to answer quickly. And then we're going to see who has better knowledge of some food trivia. Here you go, Laith.
Thank you.
And here's your pen. So there's going to be 5, and we're going to do them.
Shout out Bovine.
Shout out Bovine, honestly.
What is this going to be?
Okay. Your first question. Are we ready?
For sure.
I guess so.
What condiment was used for its medicinal qualities in the 1800s? A, mustard, B, ketchup, or C, mayo? All right, next one. Number 2.
That's easy.
What's the most stolen grocery item? A, cheese, B, fruit, C, frozen waffles.
Wait.
Can you repeat that?
Wait, one more time.
What's the most stolen grocery item? A, cheese, B, fruit, C, frozen waffles.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Number 3. How many hamburgers does McDonald's sell a day? A, 1.8 million, B, 15 million, or C, 6.5 million?
Oh my gosh, I thought they were going to go down after 1.5.
Oh, my.
Okay.
Globally.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, that was a good question. Good question.
Number 4. Where does German chocolate cake actually come from? A, Tokyo, Japan, B, Munich, Germany, C, Dallas, Texas.
Absolutely.
And then lastly,
Shout out my boy Hitch.
he's from Texas. Last one, number 5. How many cups are in a gallon?
Oh,
A,
crap. Sorry.
A, 8, B, 16, C, 24.
Stop looking at my paper.
Okay. We got,
Hopefully.
okay.
Like I'm done. I didn't
All
get
right.
it right.
So number 1, what condiment was used for its medicinal qualities in the 1800s? Answers. What'd you put?
Mayo.
Jared, what'd you put?
Mustard. It's mustard.
It's ketchup. Both of you guys get it wrong. It was said to help with diarrhea and indigestion.
I thought they filled women.
Number 2, what's the most stolen grocery item?
It has to be fruit.
Okay,
did you
also
put?
put fruit, but the real answer I think is baby food, which is kind
Nope,
of
it's cheese actually. It's cheese.
I
Time
was
first.
also gonna say baby food.
Time first reported in 2011 that cheese is the most shoplifted food product in the world, with a whopping 4% of the world's cheese ending up stolen.
Wow.
Number 3, how many hamburgers does McDonald's sell a day?
6.5 million.
15.
For sure. The global.
6.5 million. C. Yep. On average, do you know? While we were recording this episode, there have been 100,000 burgers sold.
Already.
Well, yes, during this episode. 75 hamburgers sold every second. Number 4, where does German chocolate cake actually come from?
Texas.
Yes, correct. Texas, yes.
Okay.
Wouldn't have put it on there.
All right. Number 5, how many cups are in a gallon?
It's so sad because I've taken two quantitative like classes for stoichiometry, specifically learning about this sort of stuff.
How many cups?
32.
That wasn't even.
enough?
That was
16.
Yeah, 16. Yes. So
Tie
that.
game.
So I got that one
Wrong.
right.
So you guys tie.
You got
Wait.
3 right?
Are you like you want to be good?
I got
sportsman?
3 right.
I thought you were an athlete.
I got 3 right.
No, Texas.
Texas, 6.5 million.
All right, guys, it's a draw.
You got the last one
cups,
wrong.
16 cups.
We'll talk about it after.
Wait, so you got how many? Because you guys both got the first one wrong. How many did you get right, Laith?
We both
I got 2. I got the last 2 right.
And then you
I
got.
got the last 3 right.
Well, he didn't get
You didn't. You got the last 2 right. So it's a tie, guys. No winner today. Thought you guys were gonna do better on that. I thought the ketchup
Can
one.
you give us a spontaneous question? I really would rather end on
Is
a-
that
on a-
the competitive athlete?
Okay, let's do.
Got to be something from your food knowledge. How's like a ceviche made or something like that?
I
No.
feel like you're putting stuff in his head. No, that's not.
All right, I have a good one.
Yeah.
What's a give me the name of one Bolivian dish.
Pollo saltado.
That's unfair. You
That's
live together.
no, that's Peruvian.
Like that's just offensive. I should just leave it there. I win, right?
Oh no, not pupusa, not
That's Salvadoran.
Salvadoran. It's
Wow.
empanada. It's something else. It's something else wrapped in a pastry like that.
Laith.
Don't salteña.
Salteña.
No,
Yeah,
no.
good. All right, good job, guys. All right,
Yeah.
all right. Wow.
Like you can sleep well tonight.
Guys, Bolivian food is amazing. Shout out Bolivia. Guys, thank you guys so much for the podcast episode. It went by quickly. Thank you guys. You guys were fantastic. Thank you again for being on the show.
Thank you for
Is there anything
having
you guys like to say before we close out?
No, I'm just seriously, it's crazy that we're here right now, and I'm genuinely so excited to see what this becomes and where you end up in the food world. And I'm very excited to, travel and experience that food with you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
No, and I'm really grateful to be here. Like Jared said, I'm happy that we're all here together and spending time with you guys. Always fun whenever we're together. And yeah, excited to continue to see the other people who fill these seats up, and where you go from here.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you guys. Thank you guys again so much. And that's the episode, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Episode 5 is up next. And as always, this is Nick Barahona. Eat up.
Eat up.
Yes.
Yes.